log on to beacon.co.tt for more information.
Live from the Grenadian capital, this is the GBN television news. GBN, covering you from the Grenadine Island chain to Brooklyn, New York, via the World Wide Web on www.gbn.gd.
The news headlines is brought to you compliments GUT Credit Union.
These have been tough times, and we could all use a helping hand to get through this period. GUT Credit Union gives you the opportunity to do just that without a worry. What are you looking forward to? A relaxing staycation? Brand new appliances or devices? Consolidating your debt to get more money in your pocket? Not a member? No worries. Come in and find out how you too can make the most of this offer. Or visit us today. Yes, you can have a brighter Christmas season with GUT Credit Union. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
This is the GBN News for today, Monday, November 2nd, 2020. I'm Beverly. Telesford. In the headlines, persistent rains leave overflowing rivers, flooded streets, landslides, and roadblocks in its wake. Fontenoy and Grand Mall communities raise a flag of mourning following stabbing and shooting incident in St. George's. Sectoral leaders and community residents call for psychosocial support for people who suffer traumatic incidents. And Grenada records another imported COVID-19 case, this time from the country which generated the island's very first case. Coming up in sports, Waggy T Super Knockout kicks off on the weekend, while the curtains come down on Super 50 cricket tournament. And in around the globe, record numbers turn out in pre-election day voting ahead of one of the most anticipated U.S. elections. We'll have the details when we return.
Get high making money moves with the NLA's new Aces High Scratch game with 4 chances to win. Beat the dealer's card to win the prize shown. Reveal an A symbol. And just like that, you are automatically a winner. Scratch away to win the top prize of $10,000. Win easy with Scratch. Must be 18 or older to play.
Good evening to our viewers and listeners on K105. This is GBN News at 7. Over 10 hours of consistent heavy rainfall over the weekend up until Monday morning resulted in floods and landslides across the island, rendering some roads impassable. Rain Pair traveled to St. Andrew, which was among areas most impacted by the torrential rains.
Heavy rainfall over the weekend has caused the floods and the slides throughout the island. We took a trip to the St. Andrews area to get an insight as to how it was affected. Buses plying the number 6 route through Grande Tang were diverted through by lands as the Baltazar River overflowed its banks. Vehicular access was also impeded by major land slippage in nearby villages. Sergeant in charge of the Eastern Division of the Traffic Department, Aaron Thomas, says the inclement weather impacted traffic flow between the eastern and northern corridors.
We had flooding in Baltazar, which the river overflowed its banks. We also had flooding at Grenville, which created some challenges for the motor vehicle and pedestrian alike. We experienced at the Pointsfield, the river also overflowed its banks, and which caused some disturbance with the traffic flowing from St. Andrews direction to St. Patrick's. And at Baltazar area, we also have some land slippage, which created some serious challenges for the motoring public.
In the town of Grenville, work at the magistrate's court was curtailed as the lower level of the building was flooded. Most of the streets were rendered impassable. There were diversions through several byroads and adjoining villages. Members of the fire department were called into active service as they were seen cleaning the streets of residual debris.
Presently, we are in the process of clearing the debris. As you may see, the excavator is working at the back of me, and also the Ministry of Works is taking a look at the area where we have a tree which likely could create some further problem for the motoring public, and hopefully we may not have to close it until we get further word from the Ministry of Works when it comes to that tree which is over the road at the Balthazar area there. If I get further word to close that road, then we will let the general public have that information at a later stage.
For GBN News, I am Rina Perry reporting.
A joint of marijuana, the crack of a firearm, an injured swimmer and coach, an angry father, and 2 stabbed police officers. That's the beginning and making of the type of stories that Hollywood converts into blockbuster movies. It's possible that Grenadian writers David Ambrose, Jeffrey Gilbert, or Merle Collins may one day produce the script that makes it to the screen. Tonight, Christina John brings us another episode of a story of violence which begat violence.
The village of Fontenoy was thrown into a state of mourning following Friday's incident that involved the death of one of their community members. Saturday morning, GBN took its cameras through the community to get a feel on the ground from the villagers about the whole situation as it unfolds. A black flag with the inscription RIP hoisted at a neighbor's yard in remembrance of Trevor Ridges. He attacked 2 police officers in the town of St. George on Friday and was shot. Ridges was rushed to hospital but did not leave to tell the story. For Fontenoy residents, it was a case of living with simplicity and quiet passion and dying with the qualities intact.
You could feel the vibes because a man we all go miss, you know. He show respect to everybody in the community. You know, I mean, nobody don't really have a problem with him. And I can't tell you, well, he have anybody my age who I could tell you anything bad. You know, I mean, anybody his age to be exact, who I could tell you anything bad about him, you know. I all for the community.
Today, I'm hurting all now because that gentleman and I have sailed that seas, making our contribution to this country and to our fishing industry. The village, you bring a whole damper in the village because the gentleman is a community man. He's a good person in the village.
Typine. He didn't pass there, man, from my door without saying hello. Quiet person. Very quiet. And even his children are pleasant children.
Like a father to me. He's a very respectable man. His kids in the community are number 1 incomplete. They're very helpful. They're very respectful. They'll do anything for anybody.
Throughout their storytelling, none condoned his action on Friday.
He was on TV and he was crying, but nobody didn't see the pain in his face to counsel him. They didn't try to counsel him, but reaction because of what maybe happened yesterday, I don't know. And they decided to shoot him. I mean, he don't have right with the weapon. You know, the police could defend himself with a weapon, but I think in the manner which he done was not right because the man on TV crying for help.
But what he did yesterday was not, it didn't make any sense to me. Maybe to him, but it didn't make sense to me. Okay? I'm not justifying what he did. Because the police that got stabbed, somebody else's daughter, somebody else's son. But then I'm asking the same question, what would it take a police officer in our country to shoot a man?
Yesterday, whatever transpired yesterday before the situation was too much for him. Basically, from what I gathered, he was exhibiting erratic behaviors in town because he was depressed, frustrated, yeah? He should have still be alive today, even if penalties had to be dealt with, but not in that manner. The guy need help.
9 days before going on a rampage, inflicting 9 stab wounds on the 2 on-duty police officers, Ridges spoke passionately in an interview with GBN.
He told me he fell down on the ground and the officer shot him on the ground. Huh? After he cried out, Madam, I catch my backside to my tree, I take night and make day in the ocean. People laugh at me.
This was the culmination of his story, which started on October 21st with his son Chris Regis smoking a joint of marijuana. The crack of a police firearm injured the swim coach. This drew the ire of an angry father. 9 days later, he goes to visit his son at the hospital and later proceeded to stab 2 police officers 9 times. He was shot as they responded to his actions. The family awaits the result of an autopsy to determine whether he died as a result of the gunshot wounds or from the impact of a fall after he was shot. From Fontenoy, St. George, I am Christelina John for GBN News.
As people reflect on the tragic events which played out in the country over the last 2 weeks, there are calls for intensified efforts to offer psychosocial support for people who have faced traumatic situations. Some wonder if this would have resulted in a different ending to the Trevor Regis story. We toss back to Christelina John as she continues to examine the various sides of this gripping story.
Several questions that comes to my mind. One is, was there any psychosocial intervention that was meted out to him? Because having seen him in the news, he was very traumatized and he was passionate in describing what happened to his son. So definitely there should have been some intervention that should have been urgently administered so that he could have been debriefed, kept calm, and the whole family should have been involved in that debriefing.
That was concerned citizen George Mason as he moved the Trevor Regis tragedy. Having interacted with workers from varying walks of life during his career as a trade union leader, Mason says he gets it. He gets the fact that people suffer in silence and that they need more help than they know. He thinks that Regis's case should not be allowed to end as a story of an angry man reacting in the wrong way, but one that would send a wake-up call to Grenada, and that there needs to be some form of outreach to people who suffer trauma.
We need 1, transparency in the police investigation. We need 2, psychosocial intervention for the family of those who are victims of police shooting. And 3, we need to have a cease and desist in the indiscriminate use of and discharge of police weapons on the public.
While people chew away at possibilities, others point to the need for intervention. Mason was not the only one. Nephew of the deceased, as well as another young community member, cites this need.
Police, because I have children in the police force. But I keep wondering if we need to do some psychology or something, evaluation on the police officers, because I want to believe that they're stressed out too.
I think on a whole, every community have a community center. And I believe that the community centers should be utilized in the proper way, even if it's management, like meaning the people running the community centers, so that proper meetings could be set up. Every community could be assigned a counselor. Even if he come and sit down and he don't get nobody at a point in time, it will make sense for people.
One person, for example, said that from what was gathered, it is apparent that the police may be tempted to use the words uttered by Regis in the GBN interview against him. However, as one writer said on a GBN post, the comments made by Regis should have gotten police off their butts and sent them flying to get psychological help for him and his family. Christelina John, GBN News.
A shooting in the capital last Friday, which led to the demise of an aggrieved father and wounding of 2 police officers, has left the nation with many questions and mixed feelings. Can there be more community policing? Should the police be investigating complaints against their own officers? Is there any recourse when overwhelmed with feelings of frustration? These questions and more will be discussed when we go beyond the headlines tonight with clinical psychologist Dr. Augustine Pantry Chu and U.S.-based attorney Grenadian Denison Forrester George. Plus, as thousands of Grenadians continue to cast their ballot in the U.S. elections, predictions and consequences of the vote. Join the discussions tonight on Beyond the Headlines, live on GBN Television and Classic Radio, as well as GBN's social media platforms. This is where we take a break, but still to come, the country that shipped Grenada's very first COVID-19 case generates patient 29. Stay with us. We'll have the details when we return.
This Christmas, it's happening with Republic Bank Deals on Wheels. Get fantastic deals on Saturday, November 7th at the Republic House Car Park on Morris Bishop Highway from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. 100% financing, same-day approvals. You can drive away with a brand new ride and a chance to win $10,000. Christmas is happening with Republic Bank Deals on Wheels. For more information, visit us online at republicgrenada.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Your hard work, talent, and creativity, plus Flow, equals more ways to chase your dreams. Flow is connecting all of Grenada, from Point Salines to Hillsborough, with the most reliable connection on the island. So now everyone can work, study, and keep moving forward together. Visit discoverflow.co for more information.
They say sometimes less is more, but at Real Value IGA Supermarket, we believe more is more. And since we are all about more, we want to buy more from farmers like you so we can sell more to our customers. If you have a farmer's ID and fresh produce to sell, Real Value IGA wants to buy.
For more information, contact Real Value IGA on WhatsApp at 405-4405 or give them a call at 439-2121.
How going on, boy?
Hey, good old things.
Hey, easy.
Yeah.
Boy, in line, boy. Your house looking a real good day.
Boy, it's thanks to the hard-working and professional staff at the Housing Authority of Grenada. They handled me real nice. They did my plan, they did the construction, and I didn't even have to worry about a thing. They were there with me every step of the way, supervising the job, asking me about my concerns, giving me feedback as the house took shape. They were there from start to finish, and even put the keys in the palm of my hand. I give them an A++ for customer service.
Oh, it's people from housing bad, boy.
Boy, not bad. Excellent. If you're thinking about constructing your home, why not consult the Housing Authority of Grenada? You could visit them right down in the Sandino complex or give them a call, 440-1015 or 440-1016. Or check out their website, hag473.com. They go handle you. They go jog your blocks, they go draw your plan, they go tote your materials. Hey man, where you going? The Housing Authority of Grenada is your choice for affordable housing and a stress-free construction experience.
When I need shelter, warmth, security, I know you'll be there. Something in these moments lets me know you care. Maybe the way you shield me, maybe it's your smiles and the way you tell me it's okay to try. Now I'm invincible. I can pack my sack. I can take the long road, 'cause it's okay to look back if I am scared. I know you're there. Arise, together there's no limit to what we can do. Arise, with no wings, fly. Arise, and we're so high, enjoy the view. Arise, look, no wings, fly.
This is Ariza, your financial freedom, your future.
Introducing the new Digicel Prime Bundle. It's simply more bundled together. 54 gigs for 7 days for only $25. More data, more fun. Activate today on the My Digicel app.
GBN leads, the others follow. This segment is brought to you by Republic Bank.
This Christmas, it's happening with Republic Bank Deals on Wheels. Get fantastic deals on Saturday, November 7th at the Republic House Car Park on Morris Bishop Highway from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. 100% financing, same-day approvals. You can drive away with a brand new ride and a chance to win $10,000. Christmas is happening with Republic Bank Deals on Wheels. For more information, visit us online at republicgrenada.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Welcome back to News at 7. The next time you think about discarding an old fan or plastic bags, you may want to consider sending these to Caliste in St. George. A gentleman there is converting all other men's trash into treasure. He explained the thinking and process to GBN's Christina John.
It's a refreshing experience listening to Mr. Godfrey Luke of Caliste in St. George, director of Chip and Chisel. For years, he sat and watched as people indiscriminately dumped used items from their homes and had no consideration for where the garbage would end up or its negative impacts on the environment. That's how Chip and Chisel was born, chipping away at old discarded wood, metal, plastic, steel, and other items, chiseling them into something new and useful.
So when I look at the kind of things people throwing out, it's like people don't really see the effects, because we talk about the global warming, talk about soil erosion, we talk about gas emissions and all kind of things, but people not really seeing the effects. The other people, it's like the people walk away from what the creation really was meant to be. The whole world right now, to me, need a cleansing, and if we could use what we have to push it at an international level to show people, look, you could take nothing and make something, it might even impact on somebody's life.
Not one given to complaining, but driven to action, Mr. Luke went to work, collecting garbage and engaging in his brain about how he can turn trash into treasure.
Depends on what I get. Sometimes I get maybe a fender, so if I get a fender, then you have a startup, something that's moving. So then now it depends on what you want to make. So I have a car, and then I wouldn't want to use the same image again, so then I may use a car fender to make a bike. You know, because I try to make the pieces creative too, not just, you know, okay, see a bike, but it must be always wow. I see the arts like wire bending as something dying, the drumming dying, the history dying. Everybody hook into the cell phone. And the people who creating the cell phone now say now, hey, put down the cell phone.
His pieces all have given names. One of them he labeled the Grandmaster, another Coconut Warrior. This piece was a spectacle at the Maurice Bishop International Airport. Judy Antoine is the director of Ashanti Footprints and Chip and Chisel. She believes that children ought to be taught the skill as well, since they will succeed today's adults in running the country.
And our members are from Shantimel, Upper St. John, Lower St. John, Lamode, St. Patrick, Ford, Telescope, Grambra. So one of the things that we do besides drumming and dancing is that the children come together and they also create some of the work. They work to bend wire, to paint, to help build some of the structures.
It's not seen as a burden, but a blessing to the young people who have signed up for participation.
I see this as something great, something that young people should get more involved in. I enjoy coming here in my free time, learning all kind of stuff, from bending wires to making craft, making costume fitment. Many ways it can help me gain money to further my education. It can help me to boost my self-esteem. And
by now, the Chip and Chisel Museum has accumulated a collection which is awe-inspiring. In the present staycation mood that has been thrust upon the island in these times of COVID-19, it will be worth paying a visit to the museum at Caliste, where you will get a first-hand look at as Mr. Luke sets the future in gear with Ashanti Footprints. Christina John, GBN News.
Now, a 26-year-old returning national who arrived in Grenada last Thursday from the United Kingdom is the island's latest laboratory-diagnosed case of COVID-19. The 26-year-old man had the requisite PCR test taken within 7 days of his trip. Upon arrival in Grenada, the ministry's health screening procedure detected that the individual was displaying symptoms consistent with those of COVID-19. He was swabbed at the airport and immediately transferred to an isolation facility where he remains. This brings Grenada's total positive cases to 29, of which only 2 are active, as cases 25, 26, and 27 have been medically cleared and are no longer under quarantine. All passengers arriving on the October 29th Virgin Atlantic flight from the United Kingdom remain in quarantine. More than 1,800 travelers have been processed since the Morris Bishop International Airport reopened to commercial flights 1 month ago. During the past week and a half, there have been in excess of 400 applications for people wishing to home quarantine. But health officials are being extra careful in its continued campaign against the virus.
Local health authorities are finding another use for the PCR testing machines used to confirm COVID-19 cases. Minister of Health Nicholas Steele says effective this week, the laboratory at the General Hospital can carry out local tests for dengue fever as the country battles an outbreak.
We are able to, so I expect the first test to be done within the next day or two. We are able to test on island for dengue. Up to today, before that, we had to send these tests down to CARFA in Trinidad. We are now able to test with the same PCR. So it's a different set of primers, as it's referred to, for us to test for dengue as well. But the same machines that are being used to test for COVID also test for dengue. The difference is the primers, and also the dengue, you use a blood sample instead of a saliva sample.
As of earlier this month, the Ministry of Health recorded over 170 dengue cases, with 34 new cases within the past 6 weeks. Minister Steele says the ministry is continuing its mosquito fogging program, but reiterates that members of the public need to play their part in eradicating the breeding sites.
And we all have to take measures and make adjustments with respect to what the threat is, and the threat is the mosquito. So we are breeding the mosquitoes in our own private properties. It is not only government sites that may be breeding mosquitoes, but our own private properties as well. We must take steps to stop that, and we must take steps to prevent ourselves from being bitten by the mosquitoes, using repellents or using a mosquito net or so when we are asleep. Those are the measures that we must take to fight dengue.
Dengue fever has surfaced in several countries across the globe in recent months. There were 2 suspected dengue-related deaths in St. Lucia recently, while St. Vincent reported 4 such deaths in recent weeks. Blossom Alexis Welsh, GBN News.
Meanwhile, health officials have been reviewing accommodation facilities to ensure that they comply with and are capable of adhering to the strict protocols approved for quarantine and accommodation. Jana McDonald has more in this report.
During the review over the past week and a half, 3 facilities were reprimanded for basic gaps or oversights in their operation. Health officials say they have taken the corrective measures and are now in good standing. Accommodation facilities are expected to fulfill their mandate of creating a secure and safe environment for both travelers and locals. There must be no overlap in the services offered to people in quarantine and to regular hotel guests or those on staycation, as the facility must have designated areas for each group, with no intermingling as long as they are registered and approved to do so. Health Minister Nicholas Steele highlighted the steps being taken during his presentation in Parliament on Friday.
It had started its phase of re-evaluating those institutions that were cleared to be quarantine sites. And we did find some that had discrepancies or shortfalls, and they have remedied or been given a fixed time frame, 24 to 48 hours, to remedy any of the shortfalls, and then to be re-inspected. Otherwise, they would be removed from the list of approved facilities. This includes security mechanisms put in place sanitization, protection of their employees, and the general COVID guidelines, Mr. Speaker.
During the initial stages of the review, one facility was removed from the approved list of pure safe travel accommodations because it was not able to fully execute the protocols. This hotel was readmitted into the program after rectifying its processes. For GBN News, I am Rina Pear reporting.
Tonight's ISAW takes us across the seas and into a country currently under the microscope. Let's see tonight's submission.
A good eye captures all. GBN ISAW is brought to you by Clear Vision.
You know us, but we knew. You feel at home with every visit. An experienced team offering personalized courtier service and trendy brand name lifestyle products. We're changing the vision care landscape one customer at a time. Clear Vision Eye Center. People and technology coming together to help you see the world with a clearer vision.
Tuesday is a big day for America. People go to the polls in what is expected to be one of the most memorable elections in American history. Coming in the midst of the pandemic, there has been a significant increase in pre-polling day voting as well as mail-in ballots. Featured in tonight's ISAW are Grenadian broadcaster Harold Paisady and Grenadian nationals Hazel Ann McDonald Thomas and Petra Amedi, who were among those proudly displaying their early voting status. A troop of Latinos making the trip to polling stations also caused a stirring on social media. We will monitor the elections and bring you live coverage as the reports unfold. You can send us your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp on 4053052 or our other social media platforms. We take a break, but still ahead, the Ministry of Health amps up its efforts to create dengue awareness. This is News at 7. Stay with us.
The Franklins are returning from their dream vacation, but they soon discover that their world has changed.
They want to test Papa for COVID-19. Why they don't test all them damn people that are flying on the plane with the woman they call in Patient Zero?
Heritage Theatre presents Patient Zero, a full-length play written by Chris DeRiggs, directed by Neela Etienne. Patient Zero, a story about a family and a nation under the grips of COVID-19.
Madness! Pure madness!
He got the whole world in his hands. We got the whole world in his hands.
I mean, your father has just been carried away on a stretcher, and all you can say is you're locked up and you're frustrated?
What do you want me to say? I'm locked up and frustrated.
Patient Zero at the Grenada Trade Center.
They ain't even allowing 2 dashing to come from St. Vincent. All they're talking about is curfew, curfew, curfew.
Social distancing and other safety protocols will be in place.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
You want a hand sanitizer to do 3 things: kill germs, be gentle, and to go where you go. You can get all of that in our hand sanitizer. Hard on germs, gentle on hands, affordable. Remember, hand sanitizers contain alcohol. Keep away from heat and flames and avoid contact with eyes. Available at retailers island-wide.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
It's new, innovative and classy, and it cut above the rest. Your one-stop shop for bathtubs, kitchenette, customized doors and windows, and even a new paint job. We also sell quartz and solid surface countertops. At M&N Hardware, we offer best prices, excellent service, efficiency, and reliability. Visit us at Dusty Highway, Grandin, St. George, or call telephone number 440-6757. M&N Hardware, from foundation to roof. Let's build together.
Bruv.
Hello? I can't see you.
What's good?
But I can't even hear you.
Yo.
Hello? Hello? Ah.
Okay, I see. I'm good. I'm coming in.
Ah. There you are.
Live the experience right now. Enjoy high-quality video calling today. Stream, upload, and share with Digicel super fast LTE network. Visit our stores today and live the experience today. Digicel.
Tropical shipping is fast and reliable. Always on time, safe and affordable. Friendly staff here to connect you. Tropical worldwide, you must get you. Shop online and you get it on time. Hassle free to meet your deadline. Consolidate any size, any load with tropical shipping, so we ship everything. I can't wait to ship with tropical. I can't wait. No package too big, too small. I cannot wait to ship with tropical. No package too big, too small. Just ship with tropical.
Local agents, George F. Huggins and Company, Grenada Limited. A telephone number 440-8787 or visit our website at www.tropical.com. Email us at grenadasales@tropical.com. Tropical Shipping, committed to island life.
This is GBN. We've got the means, the power, and the medium. This segment is brought to you by Flow.
Everyone connected plus Flow equals a new way of living. And now when you add a mobile line to your Flow in-home service, you have two great ways to stay connected and save. Get 20% off your 7 or 30-day prepaid plan, or save 30% on a postpaid plan. That's how we save and stay connected. Call us or visit discoverflow.co today. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. An increase in dengue cases pushes the Ministry of Health to further emphasize the need to keep the environment free from receptacles that become breathing sites for mosquitoes. Christina John has more in this report.
The persons tasked with the responsibility for managing hospital and community health services. Dengue is a condition that is exposed to the community and to the effects comes into hospital. So we really welcome this initiative. We support preventative care in every way, and this is what is happening here today. A level of prevention awareness for the community, empowering them to take responsibility in order to avoid what we're having with this dengue outbreak.
That was one of the acting permanent secretaries in the Ministry of Health, Hannah St. Paul, who applauds the initiative rolled out by the Ministry of Health in collaboration with the Vector Control Unit and Huggins to sensitize the public on dengue. During the past weeks, the country recorded a spike in the vector-borne disease.
Over the last 3 weeks, we've had 37 cases, followed by 37 cases, and then the week before last, we've had 46 cases, and that is number of cases per week. And of course, last week we had 20 cases, right? So it's quite a number of cases, especially considering that at this time of year, you should expect under 10 cases in 1 week.
Medical Officer Dr. Sean Charles providing the latest statistics. He says few persons were hospitalized. There is no particular treatment, according to him, for the virus. However, this is what he advises.
Persons are advised to use medications such as Panadol for fever, all right, but not ibuprofen or not diclofenac or any of those other drugs. Just Panadol, or take a cool bath to help bring down the temperature. They should drink lots of fluids. Dengue is a disease, one of those diseases where it is beneficial for persons to drink lots of fluids, especially when they're ill and they have fever and so on. And they should rest, and of course avoid mosquito bites.
Acting Permanent Secretary Dr. Francis Martin says it's a collective effort on the part of every individual in having this under control.
I am not satisfied that enough is being done. I think there should be a lot more personal responsibility, both on this part of individuals themselves and the society as a whole, that we need to do something about the breeding sites of mosquitoes. This year is yet again another clear demonstration that if as a community and as a people we don't take personal responsibility for controlling mosquitoes, then the effects can be quite devastating for us as a country.
The virus is spread by the Aedes aegypti mosquito. Biting on an infected person goes on to biting another person. Lena John, GBN News.
Meanwhile, Chinese contractors are making changes to the way they build low-income houses on the island. Details in this report.
There were complaints that the first phase units were too small and were not built according to Grenadian standards. These concerns are being addressed in phase 2. Officials say the second phase Chinese housing units are built to a different standard. Team leader Shibo explained through an interpreter where they are at with the units.
Compared with phase 1, we have either maybe 10 or 20 square meters for every house, so it's a little bigger than phase 1, and we have a lot of facilities to meet your local culture and the climate. For example, we have the parking area now, which is phase 1. We don't have that.
A fitness area will be incorporated, as well as a division to accommodate maintenance crew and equipment. These elements were not included in phase 1. Windows are also being adjusted to local standards. Dumfries Carriacou, Boucherjou St. George, Corinth St. David, the Villa St. Patrick, and St. Mark are the 5 locations where these units are being constructed. 70 units are being built in the Villa, a project that started in 2017. St. David has the largest number of units, 222 units, with 80% of the work complete. In St. Mark, 130 units, 90% complete. Boucherjou, 121 units, 80% complete. A number of locals are employed on all 5 project locations.
From the beginning of this project until now, we have total hired more than 4,000 persons. More than 400 local workers, and nearly 100 local workers are working on the 5 sites together at the peak. Even during the COVID-19, we still have local workers working with us. But to ensure the safety of Chinese and Grenadians, we ask them to stay inside the site with us, to eat with us, and live with us.
A few minor hiccups have been encountered during the construction process.
So the first one is you can see your country is not very flat country, so it's a little hard for us to build it maybe on a high level. And second is you have a rain season. Yeah, the rain season lasts a long time, so it will give us a little trouble.
The project is being led by the Beijing Construction Engineering Company. Christelina John, GBN News.
Stay with us. Your local weather and sports are up next.
At Communal, we are adapting to meet the changing needs of our shareholders and members. Times are changing, and with the changing times comes a whole new way to do business. Our parents may have done their banking a different way. Communal's state-of-the-art online banking and international debit card allows members to do business with great ease. It's like literally having a branch in your very own hands. Need a loan? Apply online from the comfort of your own home anywhere in the world, and your request will be dealt with remotely. Want to transfer between your accounts or another shareholder? No wait time for transactions to update. Voila! Who needs receipts when you can receive them via e-statements on your mobile device and save the environment? Not a Communal member? You can join our family today by applying online. At Communal, we see you working hard to ensure that you save, invest, and grow. Communal. Join us today. This will be the best financial decision you have ever made.
Hills and Valley Med-Care Center, located on Grenville Street, St. George's, has a highly professional team that gives excellent service in massage therapy, physiotherapy, speech therapy, medical consultation, and more. Hills and Valley Med-Care Center sells a wide range of medical supplies, offers home visits for patients in Grenada and Carriacou, and opens Monday to Saturday, 10 a.m. through to 7 p.m. Visit or call Hills and Valley Med-Care Center today, 435-6904.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
You want a hand sanitizer to do three things: kill germs, be gentle, and to go where you go. You can get all of that in our hand sanitizer. Hard on germs, gentle on hands, affordable. Remember, hand sanitizers contain alcohol. Keep away from heat and flames and avoid contact with eyes. Available at retailers island-wide.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
Opio.com. Sale. All the outlets, hotspot outlets. You're going to go to the Carnage, the Grenville, or the Sutter's hotspot, and you get sales and deals on all items. You can get these on potato, you can get these on saltfish, onion, garlic, mackerel, toilet paper, and we even have the currants and the raisin at $10 per pound, lowest price island-wide. So people just come down or go up or go across, but just make sure and go to hotspots.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements? Or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 for 418-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Foliage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
We are 2 days into the final month of the 2020 Atlantic hurricane season. While we continue to monitor the local weather, TV6's Sigourney Mohammed keeps us up to date with the forecast for the region.
Disha, before we jump into what's happening for the rest of the week, let's focus on what's going on right now, because southern Trinidad is still very much under a localized flood alert, and this has been issued by the Trinidad and Tobago Met Service. What they're advising you to do is that you still need to look out for any bit of rising water or river levels in and around your home, or probably while you're commuting and conducting the rest of today's activities, because we do have a little bit of showery activity still in our forecast. And what you're seeing is a time lapse over the last 12-hour period as to what is still happening for Trinidad, more so for southern parts of the island, even though the bulk of this moisture really came in early this morning from the east and then pushed all the way down into south. And you'll notice that this is the area where we have more of that low-lying area, a lot of agricultural farming happening here, and then we have those smaller tributaries and rivers, and they can be easily filled up with water, and we could see overspill or overtopping of some of those smaller rivers and tributaries. And that happened today. Remember, we've been getting rainfall since last Friday, so this pretty much compounded the situation. And with spring tide in effect, well, that added to it even more, because you had a lot of water coming in and nowhere for it to really go in a very short space of time. So what we're seeing into the rest of this evening is that this alert will take us right into 9 o'clock. So we have just about an hour and a half to go again before the alert will be lifted by the Trinidad and Tobago Met Service. But for everybody else across Trinidad, toward the central parts and north, northeast, of course, going all the way to Tobago, let me tell you what's happening here, because we still have a lot of activity happening where this rain shower activity is persisting. Here's a quick tip for you. In the event that you're stuck at home, let's say, for example, you are in your home and there is a lot of water coming in, you want to get to the highest part of your home. If you have to get to the roof, then get to the roof, but do not get stuck in a closed attic. You want to get out somewhere where you'll be able to get help. And if you're on the roof, or let's say you're at the highest point of your building, then grab your phone, try and flag down a neighbor, try and call someone to get some help. help and some assistance to wherever you are. So a quick tip for you there, just in case you are caught in a flood and it's pitch black outside, you can't see anything, but you are able to get that water in, you're able to see that water coming in, you know what to do, all right? Bear in mind as well, tonight conditions have significantly settled down, and not just for us, but for even Venezuela, Guyana, all the way into Grenada. We're seeing clearer conditions in terms of precipitation, but sky cover, it's still partly cloudy outside, and we're still getting some quick passing shower reaction in there as well. Overnight, we'll see those temperatures dropping. It is quite chilly inside, and it will feel that way outside as well. You'll get those lows dipping to the mid-20s and a brief shower taking you through the evening hours into tomorrow morning. And as we talk about tomorrow, well, let's jump into that forecast, because we are expecting a completely different picture compared to what you woke up to earlier today. And into tomorrow's forecast, we still have moisture and instability in the atmosphere, but that's further east of the island. And that's where we have tropical wave activity interacting with the ITCZ. And these tropical waves, mind you, they're a little bit on the southern side, just south of the equator, so they'll be impacting places like Guyana, countries like Guyana, into the next 24-hour period before pushing westward into our direction. So more wet weather is ahead. Yes, that's part of the forecast. We're still in the wet and hurricane season, just in case you didn't know, we're still in that. But most of the Caribbean this evening pretty much dry over into the western portion. However, well, tonight we are tracking the tropics, and we've got a lot to tell you about what's happening on the west, from Jamaica, Cuba, Cayman Islands, all the way into Central America, Nicaragua, and Honduras. Well, we've got a major hurricane in our hands. I'll tell you more coming up later on, so stay tuned for that. But back at home, let's focus on what's happening for Trinidad and Tobago. We will be looking out for much clearer conditions, a lot of sunshine coming in into tomorrow's forecast, and quite breezy, I must say. We are expecting that mixture yet again, however, of cloudiness and sunshine, but the sunshine will be the dominant player here into tomorrow's forecast. Looking out for some quick passing showers as the day progresses. Be mindful, you still want to have the umbrella on hand, because we are expecting some isolated afternoon thunderstorms, and that could pick up across a few areas. Temperatures tomorrow, though, get up to high gear. We're looking at a whopping 33 degrees Celsius for Trinidad, 32 degrees Celsius for Tobago. That will make for drier conditions for you to get some cleaning up done within the next couple of hours. And in case you're wondering, with all this rainfall, what's our reservoirs looking like? Well, I've got good news for you, Trinidad and Tobago. For our 4 major reservoirs, Hollis definitely over the tipping point, and you're looking at where it is right now, the current percentage to where it should be, the long-term average. Look at that. Navet, just a little bit to go again, 80% compared to the average of 81. Hillsborough and Tobago, 100% capacity. That's what we're looking for our reservoirs. Unfortunately for Caroni Arena, still in need of some more precipitation in this particular reservoir, coming in at 62.54%. The long-term average, of course, is at about 82%. So only time will tell what the weather will bring, but with more wet weather in our forecast, it's definitely a good sign. This reservoir level is what's taking us through our 2021 dry season. That's the water we need, even though we're getting some right now. So bear all of this in mind. We've got a whole conversation happening on social media as well, so be sure to join in there and find out as to what's going on weather-wise. That's it for me for now.
Good evening, sporting fans. The Wagiti Super Knockout Football Tournament kicked off on the weekend with a banging 13-0 blow delivered by FC Camahan to St. Jets United in the first match, followed by a win from GTC Radio St. John Sports over CKS Honved 3-0. Both matches were played at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium on Saturday, October 31st. Here are some highlights from Match 1, FC Camahan versus St. Jets United.
Opportunity. This should be goal number 1. Indeed it is. Goal number 1, a goal scored here by Kwesi Theodore, the captain. Think about the quality of play of the Camahan outfit and the pressure that the Sunjet team is under. Corner taken by Ryan Stephen. Goalkeeper fumbles it, and it's goal number 2. So but losing the ball to Patrick Modeste. Modeste has some time and space and threads this one nicely forward to find Ryan Griffith. Griffith must score this one. Let's see what he does. Indeed he scores. Goal number 3 for FC Carmel. Stephen looking for his skipper Theodore, who has a left foot cracker and scores. And finds Roma Frank. This is his second opportunity for the day and he scores on this occasion. Roma Frank put in the GFA construct. Here comes Roma Frank again, 1v1 with goalkeeper Alexander. He runs him and scores again. His second goal maybe in 2 minutes. Yes. Here comes Roma Frank again, left foot cracker and scores. But yet as FC Carmel comes forward here now, and that looks as Owen Williams and
team will be able to do that. But quite obviously, I would like them to score a goal as such. It's going to be a goal again.
So it's goal number 9.
Maybe he'll tighten up on that for going forward for the second round. But it's going to be another problem for them again.
That could be goal number 10 indeed. Yeah. The 4th here, that's the 3rd, sorry.
Feet and going just wide of the goal post. But it's a great move from him.
Look at the dummy here. Shamari Mark gets it now. But is he called offside or is it goal? It's actually goal number 11. Shamari Mark. He's also on the hatch. So it's goal number 12 for FC Camahan. Goal score when he's about to shoot. Foot race here. Ball won by the substituted Kobe.
The second match followed shortly after, with St. John Sports delivering a lesser blow while following the momentum of the first match, resulting in a 3-0 victory over CKS Honved. Still in football, on Saturday, October 31st, the Grenada Football Association GFA hosted national under-15 trials in search of talented youth players to represent Grenada. 125 participants attended, all eager to show off their talent and select a spot on the team. According to GFA, this round of trials was a drastic increase from their last, which had approximately 50 participants. The list of 37 successful players will be released soon. Additionally, on Saturday, November 7th, GFA will be hosting special trials at Queen's Park Playing Field from 9:30 a.m. for goalkeepers. All goalkeepers born in 2006 and after are asked to join this special session. In cricket, the final of the Grenada Cricket Association Super 50 Cup, St. Mark vs. St. David, was played on Sunday at the National Cricket Stadium in the midst of adverse weather conditions. The match had to be abandoned due to the inclement weather, resulting in the announcement of joint champions of the Cup, St. David and St. Mark. During the post-match summary of the game, President of the Grenada Cricket Association, Dwayne Gill, said the GCA had to provide an avenue of opportunity for players to do so.
What we tried to do was to continue the tournament that we had stopped in March when we had the lockdown and so on because of COVID. And you know, we went okay. We knew it was the rainy season. At one point in time, we decided that there was going to be no cricket for the rest of the year. But you know, we felt after our first face-to-face meeting after the lockdown and so on, we felt that, you know, we just couldn't sit down and have nothing. So we wanted to give the players an opportunity to play. You know, we had to come to the stadium to play. Of course, normally we would play in the different parishes and so on. Fortunately, we had completed the matches with Karakou. So all of the parishes got the opportunity to play. So we just felt that we had to finish the tournament in order to provide that last opportunity of cricket for the players.
And that's it for sports. Stay with us for the probe around the globe. Now for the probe around the globe, a Caribbean Airlines repatriation flight from JFK Airport in New York to Trinidad was rerouted to Puerto Rico on Saturday night when one passenger on board began having severe medical issues. It was reported that the elderly man appeared to have died by the time the aircraft landed in Puerto Rico. Witnesses said the man did not receive any medical treatment while the plane was in the air, and when the aircraft landed, paramedics came on board, but after their initial assessment, they did not attend to the man. Voice clips were shared featuring the deceased man's son appealing to Puerto Rican authorities to allow his father's body to continue to Trinidad. Around 1 a.m. local time, the passengers were ordered to disembark from the aircraft. Meanwhile, the COVID-19 pandemic has had students adapting to the new normal, spending hours a day in online classes. Experts are sounding the alarm in Jamaica about the potential risks of too much screen time for their children. Details in this TVJ report.
6 hours a day, 5 days a week, Deja, like many other students, have been glued to their electronic devices since schools reopened on October 5, only about 15 inches from her tablet screen, which is less than half the recommended distance. Come next year, Deja will be sitting the primary exit profile PEP examination. So between regular classes, extra lessons and homework, she will be spending even more time in front of a screen. So despite the relief that students are home and less prone to contracting COVID-19, parents are now concerned about their children's eyesight.
To have that gadget so close to you because the writing is fine. To have that gadget for so many hours in front of your face, it will have an impact on your eyesight. And at 10 years of age, even though they are young, it can affect them in the long run.
But this 10-year-old has been already practicing to look away from the screen when she finds she has been looking at the screen for too long.
I'm saving myself from damaging my eyes because at the age of 10, you really don't want to damage your eyes because you have a lot of years ahead of you. So that is why I turn off my camera and listen to the teacher.
Although Deja has not noticed any changes in her vision, experts are worried that the shift to online schooling may be causing damage to children's eyes. Optometrist Dr. Aaron Waller agrees.
They spend the longest amount of time. Their pupils are tend to be bigger than adults, and they tend to get engrossed in what they're doing, and so it can be very hard to pull them away, even if they're going through a certain amount of discomfort.
Already he has been getting questions from parents about the need to protect their children's eyesight. He urges them to be vigilant.
Further afield, U.S. President Donald Trump narrowly won the key swing state of Pennsylvania in the 2016 elections. This time around, fracking remains a key issue for the voters there, and Trump and Democratic candidate Joe Biden have promised to safeguard their jobs. But as the coronavirus pandemic rages in the United States, wreaking livelihoods, financial concerns are once again the key issue for voters. Al Jazeera's Kristen Salumi reports from an industrial suburb of Pittsburgh in Pennsylvania, the U.S.
Donald Trump or Joe Biden? It's hard to tell who is more popular in western Pennsylvania. But there's one thing almost everyone in this industrial zone outside of Pittsburgh seems to agree on: the importance of natural gas. A letter sent to both candidates crediting the industry with revitalizing the local economy was signed by commissioners from 3 counties and both political parties. They point to this massive plant being built by the energy giant Shell as an example of the economic growth spinning off from the industry, including an increase in manufacturing jobs, which President Trump has been attempting to take credit for.
The Democrat Party hates fracking. They hate coal, good, beautiful, clean coal. They hate American energy, and Joe Biden will shut it all down. He's going to.
In fact, Joe Biden has called for an end to federal subsidies for oil and gas, and no new permits when it comes to drilling on federal land, but not an end to fracking.
I have a transition from the oil industry, yes.
The Shell petrochemical complex under construction behind me here will eventually take byproducts from fracking and turn them into plastics. 6,000 plus people are currently employed building this facility, and that's helped drive up average income in this county 55%.
Stay with us. We'll have a recap of the headlines. Topping the headlines, persistent rains leave overflowing rivers, flooded streets, landslides, and roadblocks in its wake. Fontenoy and Granville communities raise a flag of mourning following stabbing and shooting incident in St. George's. Sectoral leaders and community residents call for psychosocial support for people who suffer traumatic incidents. Grenada records another imported COVID-19 case, this time from the country which generated the island's very first case. In sports, Waggy T Super Knockout kicks off on the weekend, while the curtains came down on the Super 50 cricket tournament. And then around the globe, record numbers turn out in pre-election day voting ahead of one of the most anticipated U.S. elections. If you missed any part of this newscast, a repeat of it will be broadcast at 10 o'clock tonight. Continue to follow us online at gbn.gd or on our Facebook page at GBN Grenada Broadcasting Network and YouTube channel for these and other top stories. I'm Beverly Telesford. That's news. Good night.